Hey guys, it's me again. And I'm back with another episode of the Calamitous People series. And once again, the subject of this episode is my Uncle Vondell. So, here we go. So, Vondell worked for Bird's Eye Foods, and his job was a field agent. Now, what that entailed was he would contract with farmers, the actual farmers, out in the country. He would contract with them to purchase their crops once they were harvested, so that they could be they could be processed and turned into packaged foods for us to consume. Well, and as part of that process, he would monitor, maintain contact with these farmers and monitor the progress of the crops, so that he could give the manufacturing facility, some idea of how much they were going to have, to process. And also, one of his most important jobs was to monitor the harvesting of these crops. And it was at one of those times, and he was down in East Texas. So it was an early fall day down in East Texas, and it was hot and dusty. So Uncle Vondell decided he was going to take a little break from the work out in the field. So he got in his car and drove over to a local store, local little country store, to get a soft drink and to use the restroom facilities and what have you. So anyway, at that time, he was driving a Ford Ranchero, which is a half automobile, half truck. Sometimes he would put him in a pickup truck, for a company vehicle if he was out in really rough areas, whatever. But if he had a lot of highway driving to do, like in this case, he had a Ford Ranchero. So it had a nice smooth ride, but it also had a bed in the back, so he could bring samples of the harvest back to the manufacturing facility, so they could test the quality and see what their yield was going to be, yada yada yada. So anyway, the point of the story is he drove his Ford Ranchero up to this little country store, and again, it was a hot day, so he just put the thing up at park and got out and went inside. All right, so Vondell finishes up his soft drink and is getting ready to leave. Well, he walks outside. His car's gone. He parked it right in front of this country store, and it's gone. He's like, oh brother. So he walks back inside and tells the store owner, he said, yeah, call the sheriff. Somebody stole my car. He said, I left it outside with the motor running so it'd be nice and cool. When I got back in it, he said, and it's gone. Somebody stole it. So about that time, a kid comes running in the front door, all red-faced, and said, did you guys see that? Said, a car just went over the bank out there. We need to call the sheriff. So Vondell's thinking, he's starting to put two and two together. He's like, uh-oh. He walks outside, peers over this embankment that's across the road from this store, and sure enough, there's his Ranchero down at the bottom of this ravine in a ditch. And what had happened is the car had jumped out of park, and there was actually a recall on Fords back during those years. They had a real problem with cars. You couldn't just put them up in park and leave the motor running. They would actually jump out of park and into reverse. Reverse is the next gear down the chain there. So, and that's what had happened. And his car had jumped into reverse and slowly backed across this road, completely all across the road, and then off the embankment on the other side of the road, and had gone down this rather steep incline and landed at the bottom of this ravine. So so he calls he gets a tow truck, and they come pull the thing out of there, and Vindell gets it back up on the road and looks at it, and it doesn't appear it's damaged at all. They had these big old chrome bumpers on them front and back, and it really wasn't hurt. You couldn't see anything at all, except there was a slight crease on the B pillar, the part just behind the door, the part of the body there. There was a little crease there on either side. He didn't really understand that, but oh well. So later on, he got to looking at it, and when the car was parked down on level ground, you could actually see that it had a bow in it. It was bowed in the middle like a rocking chair. And apparently when it went down that incline, it hit at the bottom of that with enough impact that, that it bent the chassis on that thing a little bit. But he drove it like that. He just kept on driving. And the funny part is, he never told his bosses about it at all. Don't forget, if you enjoy my stories, please like and subscribe.